We have rules for translations. And remember, when it's 90 degrees transformation, you bring, instead of writing the standard formula x, y, you take the x over here and you take the y and you make it negative. This is now negative x, this is negative y, that's for 180, 270, the y comes over and you make this negative x. So 90 and 270 are like kind of mirror images, opposites of each other, but if you think about it, there's a reason for it, because the points have to come 90 degrees of each other. So if you have some points here and points here and points here, and I stick to triangles, this point is going to come over or across, and it's going to come across and go like 90 so that the point is here. And then this point the same, over and down and 90, so that they start kind of looking like over and down, so that they kind of mirror whatever, you know, the points, the points would have been here. It depends which way. And so for this 270 here, not 180, 270, it's going to come here. So if you had a point that was here and here and here, I'm drawing off. I don't draw a point here and here. This point here is going to come over across and be like an arc of 270 from this point, which would be about here. And then this point is going to be an arc of that point and come over like here. And this is going to be an arc of that point and come here. And then you'll see, like, I don't draw very well like this, but you'll see that it's 270, because 270 is 3/4 of a circle. Okay, and that's why I have this line here. Okay, but when we do these formulas coming up, and you have to realize what's going on, and now we have to use prepositions. So this brings us to our other rules for translations. Across the x-axis, xy becomes x and negative y. So if we are going to and we had 1, 2 for a point. Let's just say 2, 3, and 0, 1/2. These were the originals. All of these points are now going to become 0, negative 1/2, and 1 and negative 2, and 2 and negative 3. So when you had 0 and 1/2 for your first point, you had 1 and 2, you had 2 and 3. Let's make it 2 and negative 3. 2, because the only way this is going to turn into a triangle is if I do so. In order to, and that looks more like a cone, but anyway, the only way you can do that, so this now is going to be positive, is if you go 0, and I'm going to do it in blue, and this would be 0 and negative 1/2, 1 and negative 2, and 2 and positive 3. And this is going to be an odd little triangle here, but it's somehow going to work, and they're going to work into each other, and I'm a bad drawer, but that's what they look like. They kind of go, but if you look at it, they certainly did go across the axis, the x-axis. Now, if you're going to do across the y-axis, remember the y is going to come and act like it's x. Okay, and so x is going to get pushed back, but it's going to stay positive. If you notice, this is positive and this is positive. This is when the only time this and that and other x pretty much becomes negative when you're doing these other rules, and these are your primary rules, really, these are your first rules, is when you are on or about the origin, and then they just change shape. It's just negative x and negative y. When x equals y, when y equals x, I'm sorry, it's telling you that y is going to act like it's going to be it's going to lose its vertical position and it's going to go to a horizontal position, and that means that the figure is going to go kind of up. And it sounds complicated, and it kind of is, but the best way to look at it is to, let's go on ahead and do some problems. And here you see there are your points drawn a little bit better. And here are some rules. Okay. And the y value changes. Y across the x-axis. Okay, so far so good. Now let's move on. We're going to look at the rules when you do across the y. Here's a situation. This went below, and this went here, but if you folded this, your y value is still here. This x here that you see is LUX. Your y is here, so it goes across. And all you do is just change the points and it's across. If you tried to do it any other way, and you did it like -3, +1, -3, -1, and you put this down here, you'd still have your points coming down. So you just go ahead and follow the rules. Okay, and you see what's going on. We have to use prepositions in certain languages to understand these rules kind of don't apply here. So like you're just going to, when they say across the x-axis, this is the x-axis. It's horizontal, okay? So it has to go across here. So all you have to do is go 3 and -4. So 3 and 4, this is now 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your G spot. And L is 1 and 2. So now it's -1. It's 1 and -2. Sorry. And then your Q, which was 4 and 1, is going to be 4 and -1, which is here. So this is Q. And it's across because, let's take the highlighter and see that it's going down and across here. So now you have to think, what is the question asking? Well, it's not asking you to use this rule. It's asking you to go across the axis. And it's the x-axis. If it was a y-axis, this would come across and go over here. But it's the x